I will call on Professor Sia Kintala, the director of MORIC, the body that has been fighting, not physically, intellectually, reasonably, for the interest of not only Muslims, but all Nigerians, even non-Nigerians who are resident in Nigeria. So I also invite him to also, further strengthen the position that has just been given.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة على النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم. I seek refuge from the accursed devil, and I begin in the name of Allah, most compassionate, most merciful. I'd like to thank our convener and chief imam of the Ansarudin Society, Nigeria and overseas, Sheikh Al-Imam Abdul Rahman Ahmad, for this impressive outing. Having said that, I'd like to say, gentlemen of the press, Muslim brothers and sisters, we are living in very dangerous times. The more we look, the less we see. We have never had a leader, a president in this country that is, with his own hands, dividing the country. We will cite examples, and we like to say that Muslims are at the receiving end of a highly partial governance. Number one, for the past 3 years, the recruitment into the Nigerian army in particular, the Air Force, the Navy, including the police and the SSS, the security agencies in general, these recruitment have favored Christians and disfavored Muslims. Muslims generally, even in Muslim-dominated areas like Katsina, Niger, Kaduna, etc. The recruitment had showed about 70% Christian recruitment. The Muslims will have about 30% share. Deliberately, the federal government under Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan have been increasing the number of Christians in the army, arbitrarily retiring Muslim officers for quite some time now. And what would be the purpose of that? A hidden agenda to depopulate Muslims, to commit extrajudicial killings of Muslims. An example was the one that occurred in Zaria around July 25, or is it June 25 this year, when the followers of Sheikh Ibrahim al-Zakzaki, who were just marking their Qudus Day, 34 of them were killed, shot and killed. They were not armed. They were not protesting violently. 34 of them were killed, shot dead by soldiers. And three of those killed were the sons of Sheikh Ibrahim al-Zakzaki. We have no doubt, we have very strong suspicion that Muslim leaders are being marked for kidnapping, for brutal killing, for extrajudicial killing. An Islamic scholar was kidnapped about 2 months ago, or is it 3 months, in Ogun State. We have not found him up till now. From the week that he was kidnapped by armed men who came by 2 a.m. in the night, we made concerted efforts to locate him. SSS was contacted. The police was contacted. All denied that they said they didn't arrest him, they didn't know where he was. Just recently, about a week ago, the wife was released from SSS detention in Ogun State, SSS Ogun State. The man was there. His wife, who was pregnant, was there. The wife was released about a week ago because she was due to deliver a baby. Otherwise, we would never have known who kidnapped this man and where he was. When did it become legal to kidnap Muslim scholars, Islamic scholars from their homes and make them disappear without trace? And the security agencies continue to deny that they don't have them. Muslims are no longer safe in this country. We want the National Assembly. We are calling on the National Assembly to investigate these issues. What is happening to the Muslims, not only in the northeast, but in the southwest as well. Our scholars are disappearing. Our scholars are arrested on flimsy excuses. Their Allah-given and fundamental human rights are breached with impunity. We call on the National Assembly to investigate this arms deal, the disappearance of Islamic scholars, the extrajudicial killing of Muslims, and all such things. We have never, since the installation of President Jonathan as president, the Muslims of this country have been having raw deals. Look at the national conference that just ended. 492 delegates were in the national conference. The Muslims had only 189, which means the Christian number almost doubled that of the Muslims. Let's call it double. That is not fairness. That is injustice. We want to affirm that justice is the soul of peace. We all want peace in this country. At least we Muslims want peace. It is when people are unjust to the Muslims that they start complaining. And it takes a long time before Muslims start complaining. If Jonathan wants peace in this country and is for good governance, then he must start to look at these areas. Appointments at federal level, into boards, into the ministries of ministers and so on, are made in a lopsided manner. There was no single Muslim minister in the southwest for about 3 years under Jonathan, until the Muslims sent a petition to Jonathan. They sent a representation to Jonathan. That was when 2 ministers, Obanikoro and Adesina, the police minister now, that was when the 2 were appointed. Even after the Muslims complained, after the Muslims had gone to meet President Jonathan to complain about the lopsidedness, the lopsided composition in the National Assembly, in the National Conference, President Jonathan did nothing. The Muslims did not demonstrate. They did not march on the streets. They did not misbehave. They were led to dialogue with President Jonathan in Aso Rock. That was a gentlemanly manner. And we thought the president would reciprocate by respecting the Muslims. Of course, he told us there that he was going to review it. He pretended that he did not know. He told us point blank, I was there, because I was in the team that went with the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs to meet Mr. President, and he promised it will be reviewed. He said, I didn't know that was the ratio. He said he will review it in due course. That was in the second week that the national conference began. The national conference continued for another 2 months. Another 3 weeks was added to the period of the national conference. and President Jonathan did nothing. We are totally disappointed. We declare that we have no confidence in the person of the President of this Federal Republic of Nigeria. If he wants to destroy this country, he should declare it officially. But we are for one Nigeria. We are for peace, ready to live with our Christian neighbors, ready to live with the traditionalists, ready to live with foreigners. We reject the theory, the position of those who say foreigners among Muslims should be killed. We believe these are extremists. These are people we should not listen to. And we are calling on government, we are calling on the National Assembly to listen to the Muslims who are dialoguing, who are talking peace, who are asking for justice. We warn that justice, again, is the soul of peace. And unless we do something to pacify, to calm nerves, the extremists will take over the process. And then all Nigerians will start asking, how did we get here? Thank you, gentlemen of the press.
Thank you very much, Professor Isiaq Lakin-Akuntala, for that brilliant addendum added to the speech. Like I did mention, the primary purpose of our gathering here is to lend our voice to the criminal act that has just been enveloped with the conniver of the office of the president and certain private individuals who are not government officials, taking out such a large sum of money in cash, and with the private jet of the supposedly man of God, who said when he was celebrating his 48th birthday of his ministryship that the jet was donated to him by unknown people in his congregation to assist in his pastoral calling. So the question is, using the jet or leasing out the jet, for commercial purpose, which also violates one of the laws of FAN, as pastoral, endeavor now metamorphosed into illegal commercial transactions. There are so many things that are hidden, not known to Nigerians, that we Muslims, we are using this forum to declare publicly that we have lost confidence in the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan, and also in his romance with the leadership of CAN in person of Pastor Joseph Orisejafo, who has not hidden his hatred, who has not hidden his pathological, dislike for the Muslims. And this, the style is they want to start from the north, decimate the population, reduce the population, because Muslims have been saying we are in the majority, we are in the majority. So if the population is reduced drastically, then with the collaboration of their people in the south, already we have seen it, just like it was mentioned in the press release, the likes of the elder statesman, Edwin Clark, who has said it in the obtain time, that if Jonathan is not allowed to come back in 2015, Nigeria will cease to be Nigeria. These are statements that are very inflammatory. These are statements that is hitting the polity. These are statements that has divided and deepened the already ethno-religious conflagration that Nigeria is experiencing. And I think the leadership of the Muslim from time immemorial have been calling that let us use dialogue, let us use dialogue, let us discuss, because this is a country that God has created for us. We have no any other place to go, but this is a country that is blessed with abundant human and material resources, and we need to discuss rather than inflaming, the already bad situation, so that those who have already prophesied that 2015 is the year in which we will see the disintegration of Nigeria. If this is one of the strategies, Allah has already exposed them, and Allah will continue to expose them, and their plot and scheme will never see the light of the day. So these are the issues that has brought us here today, and this is just one out of many other strategies that the Muslim community will have actually marshal to ensure that this thing will never go, will never go down. Like we have seen many that has already gone down. That this one will not go down. From the north to the south, from the east to the west, Muslims community will continue to voice out, their minds against this orchestrated and gang-up conspiracy against the Ummah and Nigeria as a whole. At this junction, I'm going to open the floor for gentlemen of the press to ask questions which perhaps we have not been able to touch, and then our leaders who are here will try as much as possible to respond accordingly. Thank you very much once again.